Welcome back, everyone, to another Eat Speed podcast, the most delicious podcast in the Metroplex. I'm Bud Kennedy.
And Steve Wilson.
Our guest today is State Fair time, and our guest is Amber Fletcher, heiress to the legacy of 80 years of State Fair corny dogs. Amber, do I have that right?
Hi, guys. I'm so excited to talk with you today. Thanks for having me on.
80 years of corny dogs. This is your 80th year, I think. Not your 80th year, Amber. I don't mean it that way, but this is Fletcher's 80th year at the State Fair. 80th year at the fair.
So this is our 79th year at the State Fair.
79th year.
Next year will be 80 years, and I can't believe. I mean, how many other companies do you know that are 80 years strong? But this is my 34th year. I'm not up to 80. It's my 34th, but I've never missed a fair, and other than last year, so I'm so excited. It's coming back. It starts, tomorrow.
So until you made corny, nobody ever made corny dogs until then. Nobody ever took a frank and rolled it in cornmeal and fried it. Nobody there. The world did not know about corny dogs until then.
I mean, that's the story that my grandfather tells, is that, he had never seen anything like it. The idea came to him. He was inspired by a similar dish that was baked, but not something that was fried. And, I can't speak to if thousands of years ago somebody did something, but I would say that my grandfather invented the corn dog, or as we call corny dog, in the 30s, and introduced it in 1942 at the State Fair of Texas.
I think that's right. I did just a little bit of forensics this morning. There are references to a corn hot dog that was a baked dish, but absolutely nothing like what Fletcher's did. So you did this one kind of corny dog one way for decades, and now you do how many? 6, 7 different kinds of corn dogs?
So we have 6 items that are on our menu that you can get at the food trucks and catering and at the State Fair. But this year we wanted to do something just different. I mean, crazy, totally different. We wanted to really welcome our fans back with just something out of this world. We have 6 varieties, but from 1942 to 2004, it was one corny dog. And, we didn't even offer ketchup until 1994. And so I would say we're definitely expanding the menu slowly. We want to have a corny dog for everybody. And so we came up with something new this year that I think you guys are really going to like as well.
So we're talking this new dog here that you're coming. It's kind of like, looks a little red. And then there's mac and cheese. Why don't you go ahead and describe what this is?
Amber, can you tell us about the
Dallas Hot?
Dallas
Is our
Hot?
Dallas Hot bird dog. Yeah, so like I said, we want to do something different and fun. And my brother, it was kind of mine and his idea that we just kind of put our 2 ideas together, and we came up with a Dallas Hot bird dog. The batter is actually a spicy batter. We take our original recipe that we've been using for 79 years, and we add just a mixture of secret ingredients and seasonings and really spice up the batter. And I love mac and cheese. So we had the idea of doing a spicy batter and maybe covering it with mac and cheese or something else. But anytime you put something on a corny dog, you pick it up on the stick, the stuff is going to fall off and fall out, right? And so we just had this idea of, what if we cut it in half like a hot dog so that we can fill it with ooey gooey goodness, and that way you can kind of pick it up like a hot dog and eat it. And so, for the first time, we're removing the stick. We're cutting it in half like a hot dog. We're filling it with mac and cheese. The mac and cheese kind of cools down the spicy batter, and then we heat it right back up by topping it with Cholula, fried jalapenos. And it's just a lot of warmth and heat and spiciness, and just a lot of different things happening in your mouth. It's just really good. And I think it's really good for State Fair food. It's just crazy, wacky things you don't typically see on a menu. And the fact that it's a stickless corny dog, is it still called a corny dog? Is it something different now? And it's just, I don't know, but we have dreams, and it worked, and we're really excited. And yeah, so that's a Dallas Hot bird dog.
Now,
And it's bird dog, so it's our turkey frank.
it started out being dipped, though, right? You dipped it with a stick, and then you fry it, then you pull it out and to stick out and cut it. And
Yeah, the traditional way.
so, yeah, I'd say it's a corny dog. I mean, you know, if you've prepared it that way.
Yeah.
It just augmented. Steve, what do you think of this idea?
I'm all for it. I like anything spicy. I remember when y'all did like did a jalapeno cheese. Do y'all still do that? I mean, but that was my favorite corny dogs.
Amber, if you can hear me, tell me about the other dogs and kind of what's in the dogs. Is there a certain kind of frank you use, or a certain kind of cornmeal? Is there a, you know, and then the dogs like what kind of cheese? What's the vegan dog? Talk about the others.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. And a lot of people don't know this about Fletcher's corny dog products. So 3 of our menu items we have. Well, I'll go through the list. So we have the original. We have our jalapeno and cheese, which we started in 2004. We then introduced the bird dog, which is an all turkey frank, I believe in 2011. 2015, we introduced a veggie dog for our vegetarian lovers. In 2017 or 18, we did our cheesy pup, which is just all American cheese dipped in our famous batter. There's no meat, it's fried. And then we introduced the Make Mine Texan, which is an all beef brisket blend earlier this year in 2021. And then this year now we have the Dallas Hot Bird Dog. And so the original.
There's a brisket dog? I hadn't even heard of that one.
Well, so we wanted to introduce an all beef corny dog for our non-pork eaters or those that just love an all beef product. But, you know, we're in Texas. And so my brother had the idea of, well, let's add brisket. And we found our purveyor that does our original and jalapeno. And he said, you know, let me work something up. And we had a few samples. And that second sample, it was so good. And so we were like, this is the one. It's beef, it's brisket, it's juicy, and it's so good. And it pairs well with our corny dog mix. And so we started serving that this year.
I think you got Steve's attention with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm ready for that one.
What's in, is the cheese dog just a stick of cheese with no dog? And what is the vegan dog?
So the cheese is just, it's American cheese, and it's just fried in our batter. There's no meat, and it really does have kind of this fried grilled cheese taste. And you know, we thought it would be more an option for the kids, but I mean, adults love it too. In fact, my niece that works at the event, she has one. Every time she works, she loves the cheesy pup. And then the vegetarian one, which I introduced in 2015, I have my background in health science, and we had a lot of fans that wanted a healthier version, or they, you know, they don't eat animals for animal rights, or they have allergies. And so it's non-GMO soy and pea protein. So it's very healthy, very clean. There's no nitrates. So if you're concerned about nitrates, there's none in the veggie dog. But then I will say one thing that we're really proud about is our original, our jalapeno and cheese, and our Make Mine Texan, the beef one, they all come from local purveyor Syracuse sausage. So it's local meat. It's a great quality. This is not bottom shelf hot dogs. There's no mystery meat. There's no fillers. There's no byproducts in any of our corny dogs from Syracuse. And it's what they call full muscle meat. So you're getting a really good top shelf, great quality hot dog that we're cooking in our Fletcher's corny dogs.
Syracuse Sausage, Ponder, Texas. That's a good sausage company. How do they ever even, I'll ask you this way. How many corny dogs does it take? How much sausage does it take for Fletchers during a state fair?
You know, it depends on the fair, but we go through about 50 to 60,000 pounds of hot dogs.
And we should say, well, the reason we're talking about corny dogs is because the State Fair of Texas is open and will be open through October 17th in Fair Park. And probably the reason to go to the State Fair of Texas is to eat. I mean, it's really the state food fair of Texas. It's where people go for corny dogs, funnel cakes, you know, fried Twinkies. And then on top of that, there's a whole exhibits hall full of food purveyors and restaurants and everything from Natchitoches meat pies to barbecue to chicken to catfish, everything you can get from anywhere across Texas. I know other people go for football or Ferris wheel, but I think the perfectly good reason to go is for a corny dog.
It seems like every time you see a photo of a celebrity or something that goes to even the governors and stuff, when they go to the state fair, they always get a picture with the corny dog. That just seems to be that's just hand in hand with going to the fair. Matter of fact, I have some pictures of from our archives of
Celebrities.
well,
Oh,
no,
this is the corny dog in action.
yeah, the corn, how the corny dogs are dipped. So that's like y'all just hand dip them right there, right? Still do it.
Everything is still hand dipped. Yes.
When you walk down the midway and it smells like corny dogs, that's when you know you're at the fair.
Well, that's because that fryer, that fryer with all that with all those corny dogs frying up. That's
Or
what,
the west apron of the Cotton Bowl when you're walking up the west gateway to the Cotton Bowl, and there's corny dogs and French fry stands on both sides.
For celebrity or something that goes.
Amber, I want to ask you about a great controversy, and you mentioned in the beginning. What's the percentage, would you say, of mustard versus ketchup on your corny dog? How many people put ketchup?
So we typically do about 1,500 gallons of mustard and 800 gallons of ketchup. So there are a lot of ketchup eaters for their corny dogs. And a lot of people like to mix the mustard and ketchup. We say if you're under 18, it's okay to use ketchup. If you're from out of town, it's okay to use ketchup. But next year we want to see mustard on that corny dog. It is tradition to have mustard on your Fletcher's corny dog. But we make exceptions, at corny dogs for everybody. So we'll make exceptions. But we hope their palate will mature and they'll switch to mustard.
Well, mustard goes with jalapeno in particular. It's like the flavor profile. Ketchup and jalapeno don't quite fit together as well. Steve, what else do you want to know about corny dogs today?
Well, you said your first job when we were talking before the show was putting the stick into the dog. What are the processes all the way through? How does it start to finish? Make a corny dog.
Yeah, so during the state fair, we have our staff that is every day out there hand sticking the sticks into the hot dogs. Everything is clean, hygiene, gloves. And we have 6 varieties, and all of the varieties have the name on the stick, which is really fun. Like the bird dog says bird dog, the Make Mine Texan says Texan. But it all starts with having the stick going into the hot dog. And this is all fresh meat that's being brought in several times during the state fair. Nothing's been frozen before it gets to us. It's really good fresh meat coming into us. We stick it. Every day you have new batter being made. It's fresh batter that we're taking our original recipe. We're mixing it with water and we're getting that perfect, fluffy cornbread texture that we like to see. A lot of our corny dogs are made to order, or because there's always lines, we just never stop making. One misconception I see a lot is people say they like to go early when the fresh grease is poured in, when it's, good grease. And I love to correct that as humbly as I can and say, oil is a liquid, and when it's hot, it evaporates. So if you don't fill in more oil, it goes down. But we do clean and change the oil and the vats every couple days. It's constantly having fresh oil poured into it. I know some people have that misconception about the oil or maybe the quality of the dog. So I love to tell people, Fletcher's has got to where we are because we are a good quality product. We like everything to be just everything that you've been waiting that year for. And so we don't want to spoil that by not having fresh grease or not having a good quality product. We want those to be lasting memories people will take with them for generations to come. And so we do our best to make sure that it is the best corny dog that you can find.
So when do y'all start putting the sticks in? How early? How much of a have y'all been doing it for a week already, or is it like something that you only need?
We've been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been doing it for several days now. We've been doing it there in our office, well, not our office, but our kitchen. And we will continue sticking up through the last weekend of the state fair. I mean, when you're sticking 500,000 corny dogs, it takes the whole fair.
What's like your busiest day? Is it Texas OU game day or which one?
Texas OU is definitely our busiest day. Columbus Day, kids are out of school, families come out. That is a huge day for us. In the last weekend, that last Saturday, Sunday, it's like by the time the fair starts, I think people don't know it's happened yet. But by that last weekend, everyone's like, oh, this is the last weekend. So everybody goes. But Texas OU, OU Texas, it is such a fun day. Everyone is dressed up nice. They've got their beer at 8 a.m. and their corny dog with mustard, and they're singing and yelling and fighting. And it's such a fun day.
Yeah, that's something that the fair opens at, is it 8 or 9? It's 8 a.m. every day?
I think it opens about 7 or 8 a.m. on Texas OU.
So everybody can go pile in early. Well, let's just say you don't even have to wait till lunch. You can pile in early in the morning and get your corny dogs. You can line them up for the day. You can get a regular Fletchers, and then if you feel like maybe you've overindulged, then you can be a little more careful and get a plant-based vegan Fletchers for mid-afternoon, and then maybe just go with a cheese dog at night, just something like that. And it's possible to have an entire daily menu of Fletcher's dogs. I'm not kidding. I think I've probably done that sometime in my life.
Now you go to the fair every year, right? Because of the Fletchers. So is there some other fair food that you can't wait till the fair starts up besides corny dogs that you'd like to eat there?
Yeah, Amber, what do you like at the fair?
So I love Smoky John's. They've been there for decades. Their food is just really good. We love, Smoky John's. Fernie's or the Dock, I can't quite remember what the name is because they have several. They have something called a fried burnt-in burrito. And it is just the most amazing thing. So I love to have a burnt-in burrito. Just traditional things for me, turkey legs, funnel cakes. I like your traditional fair food. And I always try the new things that people bring out as well. There's fried cookie dough that I have to have every year by Abel Gonzalez, and it is so amazing. And it's so rich. But I love my corny dog. And it's a tradition. I have a jalapeno and cheese one on the very last day of the fair, about 8 o'clock. I'll kind of sit down, eat a corny dog, and just try to grab that moment of, we just did it. The fair is, ending, and I just kind of have a moment with myself. But I definitely enjoy that burn-in burrito. So if you haven't tried that, I would go eat the burn-in burrito for sure.
That sounds up my alley. That and I really want to try the new brisket corny dog. that's what I'm kind of excited for. But normally I do the jalapeno and cheese one, but I think that I'm going to do the brisket one this year.
Steve, I usually work in a Hunchmiller sausage in there somewhere too, so you can, there's a little variety to be had at the fair. But I love that you mentioned the real old timers of the fair, the Fernie's, the Dock, and the people who've been Abel Gonzalez, the people who've been doing great fair food out there all these years. It's such a great tradition. It's such a great food tradition. What do you do the rest of the year? And will we ever see you at the stock show in Fort Worth?
So the rest of the year, the company is growing as the third generation has, taken more of the reins. We're doing a lot of private events and catering, and we do a lot of events and festivals, that are public. So we'll stay busy, just building the brand that way. We also are on Gold Belly, so we're shipping nationwide. In fact, we just shipped our first shipment the other day to Hawaii. And I don't know who's ordering corny dogs from Hawaii, but I would like to know, are they going to sit on the beach when they eat it? Are they going to a luau? So the company, my brother and I stay pretty busy with just doing new and fun things, building concessions. We're up in Norman now at Gaylord Memorial Stadium, for OU football. We're at A&M football and Mean Green UNT football. So we're building our concessions. But we stay very busy. In the fair, we wrap up about November, and then we start right back up in about February. The fair, it takes a lot to put on and to do what we do in those 24 days.
And you're also at Mayfest in Fort Worth, as I recall. That's your other, at least many years, that's been another Fort Worth appearance for you.
When I would say the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, I actually reached out to them a couple of years ago, and they have a corn dog company, I believe the McKinney's, that they've worked with for a long time. And so the McKinney's is another company that's been in the DFW area for decades. And I know they do some other events in Grapevine. So there's a little bit of corn dog territory in DFW. But I would love to be at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. We started doing more at the stockyards in spring. And we'll probably be doing more over at the stockyards next year as well.
What else do we need to know about Fletchers? Do we see them in stores, or is there any? I know there's not a pre-frozen Fletchers available, but and now let me ask you this: if I order from Goldbelly, who delivers? And why aren't you handling that delivery to Hawaii?
I know. I feel like I need to go to Hawaii to find out who this person is. So the operations with Goldbelly, we get all of the orders in, and we only do shipping on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so you can have them midweek or on Friday. But we get the orders in, and everything is cooked the day before, and then it's flash frozen, and then UPS comes the next day and they pick it up and they overnight ship it on dry ice. So the product that you're getting is very fresh, very, it was just, cooked, fried. And so that's being delivered. And I know that some people I've seen some comments and stuff online about, shipping costs and things like that. I think it's maybe $20 for shipping. I was personally shipping things over the last couple of years. We never advertised it, but if somebody really wanted one and they emailed us, we would ship it to them. But if I personally go to UPS or FedEx and ship, it's $100 overnight shipping. And now I think they have it down to 20 with Goldbelly. But they can get all of our corny dogs, including the Make Mine Texans. So Steve, if you want to order some brisket dogs before the fair, you can get those on Friday. Well, next Friday. But Goldbelly has been great. We've shipped to, I believe, 39 different states. We get a lot from California, Pennsylvania, New York. Somebody ordered some from Wyoming and Montana. And again, who's ordering corny dogs in Montana?
Do you go to your website, or do you go to Goldbelly's website?
Goldbelly.com, right?
You can go to goldbelly.com, but if you go to fletcherscornydogs.com, we do have a website tab that you can click on, and it will take you straight to Goldbelly's site where we're on it. And, you can also look up upcoming events. We're going to be at Western Day in Louisville this weekend. We're going to be at Chef for Farmers, I believe, November 7th. And so we have other events, and we do private catering, birthday parties. We do a lot of weddings and late night snacks. And so I would say with like the next generation and what we're doing, we're really just trying to go where people want us to be, go where you're celebrated. And people want us at birthdays and weddings and anniversary parties, school functions. And so we want to go and be available to do these things for people. I don't think we'll ever be in grocery stores. I think the thing about Fletcher's Corny Dog Dad is so great is that it's an experience and it's a memory, and it becomes just this nostalgic, part of your life. And I just don't know if it would be the same if it was just in any grocery store and you're just popping them in the microwave when your kids get home from school. I mean, that's just not where we're going right now. But we're definitely thinking of more things to do. It's just
Amber,
COVID was a big pivot.
Amber, one thing we should, the Dallas Fire bird dog, that the Dallas Hot bird dog is only at one particular stand that's off in the Thrill Ride area off the Midway. Is that right? Is there anything else people to know about where to find a specific Fletcher's dog?
That's a great idea. So all 6 of our corny dogs are available at all 7 locations, plus the location we have in the Cotton Bowl during football games. But the new Dallas Hot Bird Dog is only available at our Thrillway stand. It's this really big, bright yellow and red concession trailer. And we have it at that one because it's just logistically, it works best for us. And also that stand typically has a little bit less lines than our big tech stand. And so we want people to be able to go and get it and enjoy it. And so it's the northeast side of Fair Park by gate 10. And we're putting a map out so people know where it is.
So that's like the entire trailer's full of the mac and cheese. And that's what, so that's like it's this whole truck full of mac and cheese you pull up to fill up the bird dog with. So along with the Cholula, the
Yeah, we have
Cholula truck,
vats and vats.
vats and vats of mac and cheese, and the Cholula truck has to make daily deliveries too, I'm sure. So, well, thank you very much, Amber.
Well,
And
I usually lose a little bit of weight during the fair because you're walking so much over 200 acres. But between the mac and cheese now, I told my mom this may be the first year that I gain weight because I am a huge mac and cheese fan. So again, I may just have to steer clear from that stand.
That's a good point. You do walk a lot at the fair, so I guess it's fine to eat fried foods at the fair.
Yeah, maybe figure out a way
It
to do a
works out.
mac and cheese dog with just mac and cheese on a stick or something. But you've come up with some good inventions. Steve, any other state fair thoughts?
Well, it's nice it's coming back. I really do like that. I mean, yeah, so this should be great.
That's what everybody lost weight last year because there was no fair. So now we can get out and walk it off. Amber, Fletcher, thank you very much for getting us off to a good start. You've made us really hungry for corn dogs again. And so the state fair continues until October 17th, Fair Park in Dallas. And until the next Eat Speed podcast, I'm Bud Kennedy.
And Steve Wilson.